To take the kickoff, the kicking coach will need to go through 5 steps. Step 1 is he takes the ball and places it in a square of his choice on the opposition's side of the field. As kicks are naturally inaccurate, the second step in the kickoff sequence will be to determine the square the ball is about to land in. To do that, we take the scatter template, roll an 8-sided die. In this case I have a result of 7, which means the ball will travel in that direction. To determine the number of squares it will travel, we roll a 6-sided die, which is 1, which means the ball will travel 1 square in the indicated direction, and that is the square the ball is about to land in. Steps 3 and 4 of the kickoff sequence are to roll on the kickoff table, like this one from the competition rules, and apply the result. You always roll 2 6-sided dice. In this case I would get a result of 8, which would mean brilliant coaching, which might give one of the coaches or both of them an extra reroll for this match. I will not go into the results of the kickoff table too much, but there are several possibilities. There are possibilities for extra rerolls, an extra turn, an extra movement, or even a total pitch invasion where a lot of players get injured. The final step in our kickoff sequence is to determine what happens to the ball. There are 3 possibilities here. The first one, like shown in my example, is that the ball will end up in an empty square. In this case it will land over there and bounce 1 more square. So you again take the 8-sided die and check the result on the scatter template, which will be 5, so it will move 1 square in that direction. Now when bouncing the kickoff, it might also enter a square occupied by a player. Say for instance the kickoff would land over here and bounce to this square occupied by this player. This player then has the opportunity to catch the ball. In order to do that, you need to look at the player's agility and compare it on the table. Say for instance this thrower over here has an agility of 3. That would require a 4+ to catching the ball. Now there are certain modifiers. Catching an accurate pass, well, it wasn't an accurate pass, so that doesn't count. Catching a scattered pass, bouncing ball or throw-in, well, it was a bouncing ball, so that would give me +0 per enemy tackle zone on the players catching the ball. I will go into tackle zones later on in the match, but there are no tackle zones right now. So he would need a result unmodified of 4. In this case I rolled a 5, which would mean he would catch the ball and then the game will start. It is also possible for him not to catch the ball, in which case it will just bounce 1 more square further on. In this case in the 6th direction, and it will end up there. The second possibility is that the ball is about to land in a square occupied by one of the players of the receiving team. Say for instance again this thrower over here. The receiving coach then has 2 options. First, the receiving coach can refuse to try and catch the ball. In that case the ball will simply bounce 1 square further. So in this case I roll 7, so it will bounce 1 square in this direction and the game will start. The second option the coach has is to actually try and catch the kickoff. In this case it's again treated like catching a scattered pass, which would give me a modifier of +0, no minuses for tackle zones and no pluses for accurate passes, so I would again require a result of 4. In this case I roll 6, he catches the ball and the game plan starts. If I would fail to catch it, would simply bounce again. Now there's one more possibility for the ball to end up in, and that's out of bounds. If the ball ends up outside of the receiving team's half, then the receiving team can decide to give the ball to any player in their team. Say for instance it would end up over here outside of the sidelines. I can decide to give the ball to this thrower over here, and then play will start.